All right, today's lecture is pretty short. What we are doing is we are setting up proportions, but instead of having two sides, we're having a side and an area. So it's a little bit different. But you set it up the same. Let's start by setting up this proportion. We have x centimeters. Oh, I think it's just meters. X meters over, how many on this side? 8 meters is equal to area, which is going to be 50 meters squared over 72. So if you look at the proportion, this is the large. Notice how it's large and large. Shh, guys, someone's seeing. This is the small, and you look, small side, small area. So, and you can also think of this as sides going down and areas going down. Okay, just making sure you're consistent with it. Okay, so, who is that you? Yeah, that was you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I am telling you, I put this order in right. The placement is correct, but there's something very wrong with this equation. What's wrong with it? And we ain't continuing until someone figures it out. What? What's squared?
Oh, yeah. The x. You cannot cross multiply.
He's close. Nope. But you're on the right path. Yep. Oh, say it out loud. Well, you said it quicker.
No, I said square.
You said square? Uh-huh, you're okay. You guys are right.
It's like the measurements are different because one's talking about the area and the other one's talking about length.
Exactly. This is talking about length. This is talking about an area. You can't compare these two. We need to convert one to the other. So, you can really do it either way. You can either take this, we can either take the square root of this, or we can square this side. Either way works. It does not matter which way you do it. But I would recommend squaring. Squaring is easier than square rooting. So, we're going to square this here and here. Now this is really, really weird because in mathematics you would almost never do this. Doing an operation to just one side, that's normally no bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno. No good. All right. So, this works because of how the units are labeled. This is why units are so important. So, x squared, you kind of distribute this here and here. X squared, and then meters squared over, square of 8 is 64, and then square of m is meter squared, is equal to 50 meters squared over 72 meters squared. You squared one number. Okay, so now all our units are lined up, so we can actually solve this. I'm going to work down here. I don't want you guys to work down here on your work, okay? This is just so I can write big. Here. All right, cross multiply here. 64 times 50 is equal to 72 times x squared. All right, someone do 50 times 60, 3,200. 3,200 is equal to 72 x squared. What's the next step? What are we going to divide by? 72. Cancels out here. This ends up being 44.4 is equal to x squared. Are we looking for x squared or are we looking for x? You don't divide by x, you take the square root. That's going to be 6.7 meters is equal to x. Wow. Okay, moving on. Hello. So this next problem, remember I said you can do it both ways?
Yeah.
We're going to try it the other way now. Using square roots instead of using squares. So first let's set up the equation. X feet over 8 feet is equal to 16 feet squared over 64 feet squared. Okay, can anyone guess why it is actually easier to do the square root here instead of trying to square this? You can do it both ways, but why is it particularly easier to do it this way? Mm-hmm. Touch the P. Perfect square. Oh, you're on a roll, Juan. Perfect. And Joanna. Well, two of a kind right now. Okay, the reason why is because Juan was right. These are perfect squares, meaning you won't get decimals. If you try to take the square root of these ones up here, you'd get decimals. It'll be awful to work with. These ones in particular, pretty easy to work with. So we're going to take the square root of both of these. 8 feet, or x feet over 8 feet is equal to, what's the square root of 16? Square root of 16? 4. 4 feet over, what's the square root of 64? 8 feet. So I'm going to show you a trick. You don't actually need to cross multiply here. If you have two denominators that are the same, are both those denominators the same? They cancel each other out. What's their answer going to be then? X is equal to 4 feet. So does this answer make sense? Let's go look at this for a second. Okay, we know the area is length times height, right? Well, we know the area is this number times another number. What number times 8 is equal to 64? 8. So we know this is 4, and since this is 8 and this is 8, this has to be 4, and 4 times 4 is, we know it worked. You guys are ridiculous. You guys volcanoes? All right, guys. So I know I did square root there. It is only easier to do square root this way if you know these two numbers are perfect squares.
Only those numbers or if you
Well, so like 9, 16, 25, 36, 100, yeah. Numbers like that. 49, 64, 81, 121. The two numbers, it has a square root. That's a whole number. 1 is 12, yeah. That's not a perfect square. Yeah, we don't joke here.
Okay,
That was the best joke all year, Mr. Ring.
fair enough.
Is that the one that makes like the corny?
That was the joke. Oh,
Got it with me.
that's
We don't joke here, remember?
that's.
There's no
Ah.
jokes.
Wait. Yeah.
All right. So girls are mean. All right. So this problem is actually pretty simple. It just has really, really big numbers. Big numbers. So 21 meters over x meters is equal to 4,590 meters squared over 510. No, you have to look at the order it's in. You can do it. You can switch these around. You put this on top, put this on top. It works. You just have to be consistent about it more than anything else.
I thought it would change the answer.
Nope. Try it. Be the same. Well, let me rephrase that. If you switch both of these on top, it'll be the same. If you switch just one, that's wrong. All right, guys. Hmm? Okay. So, all right, we could have already been done. Are these perfect squares? Nah, we're probably not going to do square roots. It would get a weird, irrational number. So what we're going to do is we're going to square both of these. Square this, square this. 21 squared is 441. And check it. Am I right? 21 squared over x squared is equal to 4,590 meters squared over 510 meters squared. All right, now we need to cross multiply. Cross multiply here. 21 squared. So we're going to end up having x squared times 4,590 is equal to 441 times 510. What's 441 times 510? 200.
When you have already like square rooted this, why do you have to do it like again over here?
Because it should have been written like this.
Oh, that's 2 million.
Oh, here.
2249.
Okay. Oh, it's a little bit crooked. Okay, a little bit crooked. I'm sorry. All right, last step. What do we need to do? Divide both sides by this number. All we've done is cross multiply. I'm just going up instead of down. All right, divide both sides by 490. Sorry, 4,590. These two, when you divide them, ends up being equal to 49. So, we know x squared is equal to 49. What does x have to be equal to? 7.